But let's take a look now at the Providence starting lineup. And this is a team that doesn't go very deep indeed. And a lot is riding on the shoulders of Tyler Harris, especially against McDermott tonight. And for the Creighton Blue Jays, who start 3 seniors in the team, Ethan Rogge, the three-point wizard in support of McDermott, and Avery Dingman starting his 3rd game for the injured Grant Gibbs. And talk about father-son combinations. Greg McDermott, the head coach, his son is the star, and he is in his 4th year and loves the Big East because a lot of the Creighton fans back east can see them play. And for Providence, Ed Cooley in his 3rd year. And what does he like the Big East? Well, he's a Providence native. Why not? The officials tonight are James Breeding, Tim Clougherty, and Wally Rotecki. So we're set to go. Providence 12-5, and coming off wins against Georgetown here, and a thrilling double overtime win Thursday at St. John's. Creighton has had some rest. Providence is thin. What does that mean as far as getting ready quickly for a tough team like Creighton?
We're talking to Coach Cooley. Obviously, they want to shrink the court. They don't want to get in an up and down track meet. They want to control the ball, not take quick shots, and make Creighton work defensively on the defensive end, especially versus their bigs.
So Bryce Cotton at the point, guarded by Austin Chapman. And we have a whistle. And there's a 3-second violation called against the Friars. So Creighton with their first possession coming up with Austin Chapman, the point guard, McDermott, Rogge, Manigaw, and Dingman.
This Creighton team, very good moving without the ball. All 5 players are involved with ball movement, screening, passing, and cutting. Very hard to guard because they don't kill you off the dribble and kill you off the pass.
And missing the shot inside was McDermott. He had the free pass in there.
This Providence team, obviously everything starts with Bryce Cotton. Look for him to get involved with a lot of high ball screen action. They want to get their inside guys involved. Hopefully Fortune can make some threes and stretch the defense.
And they want to control the tempo. Ed Cooley telling us he wants the game to be in the 60s, which is going to be tough to do against Creighton, averaging over 82 a game. And here's Tyler Harris. Tyler Harris, the sophomore from Dix Hills, opens the scoring.
And that's a good start. I mean, he's a guy that's versatile enough to step out and make bigs guard him with his length of 6'9", has the versatility to pull up and knock down those mid-range jumpers.
And this is a Creighton team that loves shooting the threes. Not just Rogge, who's out there now, but everyone. They repost into McDermott. McDermott finding a driver going in and a foul. Dingman is fouled inside. And the first foul of the game, the foul's against LaDontae Henry.
Watch Harris with a nice shot fake. Very good at putting the ball off the floor. For 6'9", he can do a lot of things that create mismatches. If he can shoot the ball from the perimeter, it'll be an added bonus to the Friars.
Creighton has not lost since December the 1st, when they lost at home to George Washington, which is still a shocker. Here's McDermott short on the 3. And Providence with the lead and the ball early on.
Providence is lucky because the first 2 looks for McDermott have been wide open looks. He's missed both of them, but you can't give him that much daylight. He shoots 49% from 3.
That was just a miss, so he has missed the 3 and also could not convert inside. And there is Cotton controlling. Down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cotton with a runner, and Providence takes the early 4-0 lead.
He's excellent off the ball, especially with that hesitation dribble, kind of a herky-jerky move where he changes gears and gets in the lane to knock down that nice floater.
Cotton is averaging 20 a game, and McDermott, second leading scorer in the country at 25.2, and the 3 by Rogge, Ethan Rogge, who has taken just, get this, 6 two-point shots all year.
He has in the gym range. As soon as he's over half court, he's a threat to knock down a 3. Batts has his hands full. You have to make him a driver, contest, and keep your hands high.
We're going to have an early substitution, as Carson DeRozier is at the scorer's table. Very early substitution coming in for the Friars at the next dead ball.
Providence running a little flex offense. This is a new set that they're using in the half court to create some movement and some ball screens.
Here is Fortune missing the 3. Ed Cooley telling us before the game he'd like him to hit some threes. And it's still Providence ball. Good hustle inside by Harris.
Well, they want to maximize their possessions. They don't want to take any quick shots. They want to make Creighton work defensively and use the shot clock to their advantage.
Cotton will pull it up for three and hits. Bryce Cotton now with 5 points, and it's 7-3. Loose ball inside, and here's Cotton. And one of the rare breaks that Providence will take. It's Cotton scooping it up, and the putback. Put back in there by Creighton Batts.
Great push by Cotton in transition. When he drives, he causes the defense to collapse, and Batts comes in with a nice follow-up on the offensive glass.
Dingman going in McDermott, and despite the fact that the pick and roll was deflected, McDermott gets his first points of the game.
Well, one of the reasons he's so tough to guard is he's very good moving without the ball. Nice little curl screen. He gets backdoor behind the defense for an open one.
Here is Batts, guarded by Raggi. They're going to give Batts the outside shot. And Hinton, 2 good rebounders inside Batts and Hinton. This is a team that doesn't quit hustling. And there is inside to Batts. And Batts is fouled. So Batts fouled by Raggi. And we'll go to the line to shoot 2, and we'll have our first timeout. So the Providence Friars lost to Villanova by 30. Keep hustling.
Cotton with a nice floater. Very good in the paint. And then you see McDermott with a nice cut for the wide open layup back door.
Tonight on Doug McDermott, and this is what he has done, a tremendous career. And you know, if you talk to Ed Cooley, he says, who else would be the National Player of the Year at this point?
There's nobody that stands out here. I've talked to several coaches throughout the country and NBA scouts, and they all said by far he's the best, most complete offensive player in the country. If there was a Wooden Award given today, he'd be the one to get it.
Well, there's McDermott, who's the Big East Player of the Week. Get this 5 times already this year. And scoring isn't the only thing he does. 5th in rebounding, over 7 a game. And Creighton Batts is on the line.
And if you're Providence and Ed Cooley, you have to be happy with the way this game has started in terms of pace and tempo. They've got out in transition. They've got good sets in the half court. Cotton's off to a good start, and their flex offense has gotten them some good looks in the paint.
Friars hitting 4 of their first 6 from the field, so at least getting off to a lot better start. And here is DeRozier coming into the game, replacing Creighton Batts. DeRozier, a 7-foot junior from Windham, New Hampshire, and second in the Big East in block shots.
This Creighton team, they run a lot of sets through that elbow area with McDermott curling to the basket and going off the screens.
And McDermott driving on DeRozier and scoring. So McDermott with his second field goal, and the Providence lead is 4. 4.5 minutes elapsed here in the first half.
Great recognition by McDermott. He knew he had a mismatch with the slow-footed DeRozier on him. Drives and finishes with the left.
Hinton is guarded by McDermott. And one thing that Ed Cooley said, he wants to make McDermott guard. Ball knocked away, out of bounds, and its last touch by Creighton.
And McDermott constantly moving, very good at using the screens. And then when he gets a guy slower than him, he has the ability to take him off the dribble. Very good using his offhand at a high percentage.
So if they want to make McDermott guard someone, they haven't gone to anyone in that sense yet. Here's DeRozier coming in with a pretty move. Carson DeRozier.
And what they are doing, Dick, is they're pounding the ball into the paint. They're shooting high percentage shots, taking advantage of their size.
And there's a 3 by Raggi, who's hit 1 already, misses this one. And here come the Friars, leading by 6. And they have out-rebounded Creighton 6-0. Creighton does not have a real big post presence on this team.
And certainly Ed Cooley wants to use that to his advantage and pound the ball down low to Batts and DeRozier in that flex offense.
Fortune trying to go to the hoop, nothing there. Creighton deceptively strong defensively.
And at this time of the game, when there's a shot clock winding down, there's always going to be
5 on the shot clock, and the 3 by Cotton.
And Cotton's off to a great start, and he's the best one-on-one player on this team, and he has the green light to pull up when he has a shot.
8 points, including 2 threes, and just in the game and making a great move is the junior Devin Brooks, who's made an impact. A junior college All-American last year at Iowa Western. And he's going to play big time, especially with Grant Gibbs out for about a month with a dislocated kneecap, and that is a tough loss for Creighton. because he and Doug McDermott work perfectly together. Great chemistry. Lead is 7. Here is Cotton, and Cotton going into Hinton, who misses. And Hinton misses the layup inside. Manigat. Now here's McDermott guarded by the smaller Fortune. Rocky will take the 3 and misses again.
He's contested by DeRozan. Closes out high hands as a 7-footer. He threw Raggy off his balance.
1 for 3 from three-point range. And McDermott committing the foul on Cotton.
Well, one thing that stands out, Dick, is Cotton is being aggressive. He's coming off those ball screens with the intention to score or make a play, and that's putting pressure on Creighton's defense. He's either scoring or drawing fouls. Good start for the senior guard.
Isaiah Zierden, number 21, a freshman from St. Louis Park, Minnesota, is in for Creighton, and Kadeem Batts checks in for DeRozier for Providence. 7 minutes gone by here in the first half. Providence has to like the pace right now. Using a lot of the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly what Coach Cooley wants to do. Make Creighton guard and use the clock as your advantage.
Batts misses from outside, and the rebound taken down by Brooks. Manigat in the corner, and Zierden hits. Isaiah Zierden, a redshirt freshman, hitting the 3, cutting the lead now to 4.
Creighton has been playing more minutes with Gibbs being out of the lineup. He's another guy that can spread the floor and knock down the 3 ball.
Now McDermott guarding Hinton, gives it up. And coming off the screen is Fortune hitting the shot. So Josh Fortune with his first points of the game and a 6-point prior lead.
They need him to make shots. He's their best outside shooter outside of Cotton. Very good at moving out the ball. When he gets his feet set, he can knock him down.
McDermott skip past Zierden trying to save it, and he does. Good play made there by Will Artino on the catch, and driving in is McDermott. Boy, he is deceptive in getting around, beating people off the dribble.
Well, he's very good at beating this guy off the dribble. You can't close out on him too hard because he's quick enough with that deceptive first step to get to the rim.
McDermott has 6, and Cotton with 8. Those are the top 2 scorers. And Batts misses again from outside, and the follow by Hinton, his first basket, and Providence again by 6.
And for Providence to win this game, they need 3 guys to really score the ball and be aggressive. That's Hinton, Harris, and Cotton, and if Batts can give them some rebounding, they're in good shape.
And here's Brooks, stop and go, and a Providence foul is called. And a timeout coming. McDermott makes it look easy, doesn't he? Has led all the way. They're up by 6 over Creighton. So how are the top 2 scorers in the conference doing, McDermott and Cotton?
Well, everything for McDermott has been in the paint. He's gotten high percentage shots, very good at getting to the basket off the dribble, finishing with his left hand. Such a dynamic scorer. He can hurt you a lot of ways. Providence closing out high, forcing him to drive. He's been able to finish in the paint. Bryce Cotton on the other end has his jump shot going and his mid-range floater, very good at changing directions, changing gears with that hesitation dribble. The pull-up jumper's going, and he's been able to knock down that 3 ball with the shot clock winding down to give them some rhythm.
And Providence 8 of 13 from the field, and that has helped them. Cotton, by the way, picking up that personal foul before we took the break. In fact, Creighton also is shooting well. There you see the Big East scoring leaders, and McDermott, as we mentioned, 2nd in the nation. Zierden out to Brooks. You can expect to see Cotton and Fortune playing maybe the entire game. They are true Ironmen, especially Cotton, who played all 50 minutes. So did Fortune in the double overtime win against St. John's.
Providence is switching everything 1 through 5 to prevent Creighton from getting any clean looks from the 3.
Inside, and nothing doing. Artino could not convert. He's the big man at 6'11" for Creighton. The only real post presence they have. They're shooting 54% before that last possession, and there's a good steal by Manigat. Manigat all the way and lays it in. Jahens Manigat, senior from Ottawa, Ontario, and leads the Big East in assist-turnover ratio, and we saw why there.
He's a good defender at 6'1", 6'2", long arms, good at getting his hands in the passing lanes, active in the fast break to finish plays.
Hinton guarded by McDermott. They really have not challenged McDermott at all, although he does have one personal in this game.
And that's been a focal point going into this game. They want to make McDermott guard and work on both ends of the court, especially if he's guarding Harris.
5 on the shot clock. And there is Hinton off the rim. Harris misses the follow. And battling Artino. And the possession arrow will go to Creighton.
Harris would have liked to have that one back. I'm not sure if that was a jump ball. It wasn't tied up long enough. And here we'll see Manigat with good hands, just reads the play, good eye-hand coordination, gets a deflection still. His game is more on the defensive end than the offensive end.
Austin Chapman and Ethan Raggi come into the game, and Doug McDermott getting his first breather of the game. Pick and roll to Artino, and Artino is fouled underneath by Harris.
That's a nice set play by Creighton where they use a high ball screen, a double high ball screen for Zierden.
And it's Harris's first foul, and Will Artino will go to the free throw line as Providence, 1 point, had a 9-point lead, and now can be narrowed to 2. Only a 60% shooter. Tomorrow, Fox College Hoops returns as Louisiana Tech takes on Southern Miss, with coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on Fox Sports 1.
I really like Artino to roll to the basket off those screen and roll situations to get him the ball in the paint.
1 out of 2. 3-point lead for Providence. A little more than halfway through this first half. Providence trying to make it 3 in a row. They had dropped 3 before beating Georgetown and St. John's on the road. Played 4 overtime games. Double team, DeRozier, who's come back in the game, and the 3-point attempt getting knocked down is Fortune. No foul, but now they're going to call the push on Harris, knocking Artino down, and Harris picking up his second personal.
And that's not good for Providence because they need Harris to stay in the game. He will, because Coach Cooley doesn't have much depth. But picking up an early second foul with 9 minutes left is not what you want, because now McDermott can attack if he's matched up against him and take advantage of that and hopefully try to pick up his third.
McDermott remains on the bench, getting a breather at this point. Fortune is guarding Manigat. Manigat trying to go baseline, nearly lost the ball. And they're going to call the offensive foul against Creighton.
They're going to call an illegal screen on Artino. Moving screen, and that's been a point of emphasis this year throughout the country. But you know, Providence has to be happy with where they are in terms of tempo. Creighton is still kind of filling them out. They're certainly paying attention to Cotton and sending 2 guys to him when he gets in the paint. But other than that, they're kind of sagging into the paint and daring Providence to shoot.
Harris goes to the bench. He has scored 2 points and has 2 personal fouls. So DeRozier getting a lot of action early on. Fortune, Cotton, DeRozier, Hinton, as well as Batts. And there's DeRozier with a turnaround. DeRozier's hit 2 good inside shots since he's come in.
He's very good at that right jump hook over the left shoulder.
And
nice
there
job
is Zierden coming right back with the shot. Great with Zierden. Zierden, whose father Don is a longtime coach, now an assistant with the NBA Washington Wizards. The lead is 3, winding to 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Chapman doing his best to create, to take any airspace away from Cotton.
Cotton manages the drive, comes up empty. Coming out of the pack, Dingman, who started the game, making his 3rd start, and will have a foul as Zierden is fouled by Fortune. Take a break.
Here we'll watch the big man DeRozan with a nice little jump hook over the middle for the big man to give Providence a 3-point lead. Yeah, I mean, if Creighton is able to win this game tonight, that's going to be an exciting matchup. One of the highlight matchups of the early part of the season. Villanova playing great basketball, undefeated, and they have that depth with their guards and wings versus a Creighton team that has size and shooters two different styles.
Here are the Big East standings. Villanova winning their 5th game, so they're tied for first at 5-0. And the rest, Xavier's at 4-1. And then a lot of people in the middle of the pack. Butler winning his first Big East game today, knocking off Marquette.
I certainly feel like Butler is better than their records of, and obviously getting a win today versus Marquette will get their confidence going.
Doug McDermott is back in the game. When he went out, Providence was up by 4. Their lead is 3. So Providence really didn't take much advantage when McDermott was out of there, as Rocky once again misses a 3-point attempt.
And that's a good point, Dick. They did not take advantage of McDermott out, and he's not going to be out for long. He's very, very used to playing big minutes, and him and Rocky have not really got into a rhythm yet offensively.
Rocky 1 for 4 from 3-point range. That's
Creighton changing their defense up a little bit, extending their man-to-man pressure, and doubling the post. When Bats gets it down low at DeRozier, they're sending 2 guys to him.
3 on the shot clock, and Cotton off the rim, and 2 Friars, and it's Bats who comes down with it. Here's Fortune coming back, misses a 3. So Providence getting cold from the perimeter right now. Creighton coming right back, and Chapman lays it in, and it's a 1-point game. Friars by 1.
Chapman is one of the better ball handlers in terms of transition basketball that has the speed, gets to the rim off the bounce, and finishes.
Providence shooting under 50% right now. Creighton almost 60%. Providence trying to keep it into a low-scoring situation right now. And hitting a 3.
Creighton not known for his three-point shooting, but will take 2 to 3 threes a game. Knock his first one down, and when he can knock down some shots, it takes the pressure off of Cotton, who's always going to be the focal point defensively for Creighton.
Dante Hinton with a timely 3-point shot for Providence. Here's Zerton for 3, rims the basket, and the rebound by Bats.
It's been one and done for Providence. They've been able to get a stop and rebounds.
And the foul against Searden.
And we'll see the speed by Creighton. Chapman, their point guard, the quickest guy on the floor, gets the ball up quick off the bounce. Nobody stops the ball, and he gets into the paint and finishes.
Lee Goldsboro, a 6'9" senior from England, Newcastle, England, replaces DeRozier, his first appearance in the game. Manigault coming in hot. 3-point attempt, good offensive rebound by the newcomer into the game, Goldsboro.
That's what he's in the game for hustle points, getting loose balls and rebounding. He's not in there to score. Coach Cooley needs him to give this team a lift that only has 6 guys that play a lot of minutes.
Goldsboro trying to go inside to Hinton. Good deny defense by Creighton right here. Here's Bats. What a play by Bats. And the foul. Bats with a tough drive off the glass and a chance for the and one.
And that's just a great move off the ball, off the dribble. I'm sorry, he uses his left, and he has a disadvantage. He has a mismatch because he's faster and quicker with the lateral movement. Raggi's not known for coming out and guarding guys. Bats, good body control, finishes with the foul.
And he has 6 points. Cotton, the scoring leader, with 8 for Providence, and Bats misses the free throw attempt. By the way, Rocky picked up the personal, his second. Artino, along with Manigault, Chapman, Dingman, and McDermott, and a foul inside as McDermott is fouled, and that is his 17th foul against the Friars. And right now, Creighton's in the bonus, and it'll be 2 shots on the line.
Both these teams are excellent foul shooters, and McDermott is almost automatic. The reason it's so hard to guard McDermott is because he never stops moving without the ball. In that last play, he beat Fortune to the block, and Fortune tried to catch up and slow him down, but got called for the block. And McDermott is a guy who is always going to be moving off the screens and getting to the rim.
Second foul on Fortune, and McDermott hitting the free throw, his first trip to the line. Ted Bancroft has come into the game for Providence, a senior from Marion, Massachusetts, whose best sport may be golf, finished 3rd in the Massachusetts State High School golf competition. This is not golf weather that we have up here, though, Tariq.
Now, down in Florida where you live, it is.
Yes, it is. 4-point lead.
You have to like the pace offensively that Providence has had so far. They've taken good shots in the half court. No really ill-advised shots. Cotton has done a good job of controlling the tempo, keeping his guys involved.
And Hinton firing away for three. And the rebound by Artino. You made a good point about Cotton. You know, not often do you find a scorer be that high as far as playmaking is, but that's what Cotton is. Passing out of the double team is McDermott, and Manigault misses a three. Battle for the loose ball, and it's won by Providence, and foul. They're going to call the foul on Devin Brooks. Good hustle by the Friars, saving the ball and then getting the possession, and then drawing the foul.
And Hinton is that guy on this Providence team that does all the dirty work. He scores and rebounds, but he's a guy that does a lot of things that don't show up in the stats. 50-50 balls is a big part of his game.
Fourth in the Big East, averaging nearly 7.5 rebounds a game, 3-year starter. Cotton guarded by Manigault. Brooks on Hinton. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Cotton puts up a tough shot. McDermott underneath. And they're going to call the foul on Creighton. Creighton foul, and Greg McDermott doesn't agree with that one, and it's going to be on McDermott, his second foul. 2 fouls on McDermott.
McDermott has a case there. It looked like he got fouled as an over the back. As Goldsboro went over the back of McDermott.
I agree with you.
Off the Cotton miss, it looked like McDermott had the inside position.
Yep.
But the official saw it the other way, and you know, Providence doesn't shoot the ball well from the field, but what they do is they make up for it on the foul line. So now that they have a bonus situation in one-on-one, Bats, very unusual to see a big man shoot the ball as well as he does, but he shoots 75% from the stripe, and versus St. John's, he was spectacular. I believe he made 10 of 11.
That's 74% free throw shooter. So for the second time in this first half, which is rare, Doug McDermott goes to the bench and replaced by Dingman.
Well, this is what Coach Cooley talked about. He wants to make Creighton guard, and part of making Creighton guard is drawing fouls. You have McDermott with 2 fouls now. He goes to the bench. They have more depth in Providence.
And Bats makes the free throw, and it's 29-23. Interesting that the 2 fouls that he's picked up, not because he was challenged, almost away from the ball kind of situation. Good ball movement. Manigault for 3. Pretty offensive sequence for Creighton. And they climb to within 3.
Well, they make the extra pass, and the ball doesn't stick. They lead the Big East in assists because they move the ball and they hit the open man for wide open shots.
McDermott on the bench with 8. Zierden has 5, so does Manigault. Second to McDermott in scoring for the Blue Jays. Bats and Cotton each with 8 for Providence. Now down to 6 on the shot clock. Here is Cotton over Manigault, short, and here's Brooks. Creighton's going to run it, and it's going to be Manigault. Pretty move by Manigault.
And that's what makes them so tough. Their backcourt is very good in transition. Nice 2-on-1 decision and a finish by Manigault over Cotton.
7 points for Manigault. He's second to McDermott's 8. McDermott's on the bench right now. And now a 1-point game. At one point, Providence led by 9. They've led all the way in this one with just under 3 minutes to play in the half. And Cotton is fouled by Manigault and will go to the line.
Manigault's been a big lift for them offensively with his ability to knock down the 3-ball. And then in transition, this is where he really thrives in the open court, finishing with the layup.
Thank you very much. And right now, let's take a look at our DirecTV game summary. The 2 top scorers each have 8. Cotton has 3 assists, but McDermott on the bench right now with 2 fouls. Good shooting by the Blue Jays. And interesting, the Friars have an +8 rebounding margin, and in Creighton's 10-game winning streak, Tariq, they've out-rebounded their opponents 9 of those 10 games.
Yeah, you have to credit the focus and the intensity of the front line of Providence doing a good job of making it one and done. 1 shot, 1 possession. Providence is not allowing Creighton to get any offensive rebounds and extra possessions, and they've been able to control the tempo so far in the first half.
So Bats playing a major role with 8 points in the game, and Cotton on the free throw line. He is an 87% free throw shooter for a team that leads the nation, over 80% from the line.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with this young man, Cotton. I mean, here's a guy who came in as a combo shooting guard, averaged about 4 points as a freshman, and then slowly got better. You know, went up to double figures, and last year led the Big East in scoring. And now he's a complete guard that can play the 1 and the 2.
How about playing a 5? Because he had a career-high 9 rebounds against St. John's, so he does it all aspects of the game.
And he doesn't come out of the game. He played all 4 overtime games they played this year. He's played every minute of the game. It's just amazing that he's been able to play at this high of a rate without getting tired.
Manigault, who's been a factor for Creighton. Dingman, guarded by Batts. DeRozier out of the front. Good defense by Providence. Here's Dingman going up. Off the rim. Loose ball. DeRozier has it.
Great defensive possession for Providence. Really good help side defense by Bancroft coming over to contest.
Here's Providence 2 days ago playing a double overtime game with a thin squad. They have a lot of guys that they counted on not there. And Ed Cooley said, we don't even talk about it. We don't even want to get it into their heads that they're having to play a lot of minutes. Here's Batts. Batts hitting. Good feed from Cotton, getting another assist, and the lead again is 5.
That's good 2-man action between Cotton and Batts. Nice pick and pop for Batts to knock down a nice sweet shot.
He has 10 points, does Batts. Low post Artino against DeRozier, trying to work his way in, and scores.
That was nice. I mean, he was double teamed and he spun out of it baseline to create an angle to score the basket.
Artino from Iowa started the first 7 games. Then they went to a smaller lineup using Ragge. They have not lost since Ragge has been in the starting lineup. Won 10 straight. Manigault goes down, but no foul. And then as Hinton drives in, there is a Creighton foul.
Well, watch the 2-man action. Nice screen by Bass. Instead, Cotton goes away from it, and Bass pops out for the jumper. And here we'll see Artino avoid the double team by spinning to the right and scoring off the baseline. Nice move by the big man.
Manigault picking up his 2nd foul. An 83% free throw shooter for him. Why don't we just say they all can hit the free throw?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a luxury to have a team that shoots 80%. They lead the nation in foul shooting percentage, and that is something that makes up for the low shooting percentage from the field. They only shoot about 41%, but if they get to the foul line, they're making their shots.
And they do again. McDermott, Ragge, Manigault, all with 2 personal fouls. And now 10 for Batts, 7 for Hinton, 10 for Cotton. Good balance there for Providence. They're up by 5. Each team has missed 1 free throw. And unable to save it is Zierden. And that is only the 4th turnover in this game. 2 by each side.
That was good. The help side defense again by Providence. Brooks trying to create something off the bounce and got caught in no man's land. Providence doing a good job with their ball pressure.
Under a minute to go. Providence with a terrific first half. Right now playing it the way they wanted to play it.
Creighton drops into a zone now, 2-3.
Here's the fake. And the shot is good. Ted Bancroft. So the Friars are getting dividends from DeRozier, Bancroft, and Goldsboro. The bench getting the job done. And a 7-point Providence lead. They be playing their best game of the year right now. Let's take a look at the Providence Friars here with 33 seconds to go in the half. 12-5 record. They won 2 straight. 8 games decided by 4 points or fewer. As we said, 4 overtime games. And 3 of the 5 losses to ranked team. In fact, tonight they're looking for its first win over a ranked team since beating Notre Dame last year on February 16th. They lost at Villanova this year and would like to get another feather in their cap.
But they're off to a great start. They completely control the tempo on the offensive end. And defensively, they've really done a good job of contesting the threes, getting high hands, and making Creighton put the ball on the floor.
Creighton can play for the final shot here in the first half. And McDermott, who has 2 fouls and 8 points, is back in the lineup. When he left, Providence was up by 4.
Look for McDermott to do something off the bounce. He's been able to get to the rim pretty easily.
Going to fire it away. Short. Rebound by DeRozier. And a timeout with 0.6 of a second left.
That's just another great defensive possession. They get a nice contest on McDermott, who shoots a fall-away jumper, something that he usually makes. And he comes up short. It's been very good attention to detail defensively by Providence.
No question. And McDermott only 8 points. Twice has had to sit because of fouls, Tariq.
He's off rhythm, and you have to give Providence some credit. They've been able to draw 2 cheap fouls on him. They made him a driver as opposed to a shooter. And although he's 3 of 6 from the field, all 6 shots that he's taken have been difficult shots. He's had to earn those 3 baskets.
Well, only 6 shots for a half is a measly amount for Doug McDermott. When he left the last time with 4:07 to go, the Friars are up by 4. Now they're up by 7. And there you see Doug McDermott. By the way, in case you're wondering what his low point was this year, it was in that loss to George Washington when he scored only 7 points on 2 for 12 shooting. Otherwise, he's been out of sight. Final seconds, that'll do it. And that'll end the first half. Providence leading all the way against Doug McDermott and the 20th ranked Creighton Blue Jays. McDermott held to 8 points, has 2 fouls. And could this be a huge upset in the making? Stick around. Halftime coming up.
More balance with the interior and the exterior game on the perimeter.
On the stat sheet, well, Creighton's out shooting Providence. No surprise there. But look about just about everything else. And, you know, the three-point shooting, Creighton should be dominating there. 8 of 9 for the best free throw shooting team in the country, Providence. A 10 rebounding edge, 11-0 in second chance points. Interesting to see what Creighton has in mind now. Fortune and Cotton, along with Hinton, Batts, and Harris, who sat a lot with 2 personal fouls in the first half. Chapman guarding. Now Raggi picked up 2 personals, as did McDermott. And Manigat as well. New clock.
Focus for Providence continues to be to play inside out. They want to get Batts and Harris going. They want to work some shot clock. And by the time they get a shot off, there's usually about 15 to 12 seconds left. That's the way they're controlling the tempo.
They let it down to 5 or 4 seconds many times in the first half. Batts hits the field goal, and that matches the Friars' biggest lead of the game, 9 points.
That's a great possession to start the first half. The second half of Providence, they get exactly what they want, and they still work some time off the clock.
Batts has 12, and on the turnover, Batts unable to keep control of getting the ball, and so it'll be Creighton ball as you see the assist leaders and the other leaders in this game. As
Batts is one of those guys where when he plays well offensively, it triggers and falls into his defense. He's more locked in. He's talking on defense. He's engaged. He's closing out.
Chapman, Raggi in there. 3-point attempt is missed by Manigat. He is in there along with Avery Dingman, starting his 3rd game with the injury to Grant Gibbs. And, of course, Doug McDermott, who has only 8 points. The guy averaging 25 a game. Inside to Harris. Pretty move. Harris uses his body to bank it in.
That's the 3rd time we've seen Harris score off or get a basket off that flex cross screen. Good execution.
And the biggest lead of the game now for the Providence Friars, and a foul called against Providence. That'll be 2 against Cotton. So Cotton has 2 fouls now. So the 2 super scorers, McDermott and Cotton, each with 2 fouls. Dingman, cross court, Raggi, and a good rebound by Hinton.
Another good contest, and Raggi, who's a great 3-point shooter, has not been able to get off rhythm. Providence getting a hand high, contesting everything.
1 for 5 from 3-point land is Raggi, which is shocking for a guy who's been prolific in that area. Here's Fortune. Hits a 3. Fortune hitting the 3, and now the Friars are leading by 14 points.
Great ball movement, making the extra pass. Fortune gets his feet set and lets it go.
McDermott leaves it for Managod. McDermott guarded by Harris, goes right by Harris, gets the basket and draws the foul. And an and one coming up. And it looked for a minute as if Harris was reluctant to challenge him for fear of picking up his third foul, which he did anyway.
Well, we'll see the ball movement first as they set it up with Cotton. They pay so much attention to Cotton that the defense collapses. Good skip pass to Fortune, who's wide open.
And McDermott now with 11.
And McDermott, he has to get himself going. That could be a trigger right there. Getting the ball in that mid-post area one-on-one, he feels like he has the advantage versus Harris.
Do you see any adjustments defensively yet for Creighton?
Well, I think what Creighton's going to have to do is they're going to have to find a way to slow down Cotton and guard that cross screen better in the flex offense because they're getting too many high percentage shots Providence is in the paint.
Now by flex offense.
And that flex offense is an offensive motion based on cross screens and down screens that allow Providence to get into the paint.
Harris in the paint getting the field goal. So Harris has 6 points and another Providence foul. That is against Batts.
And offensively, Creighton, they're going to start featuring McDermott in the post more and kind of isolate him in that mid-post to that elbow area and let him be a driver. All his baskets have been to the paint.
Devin Brooks comes in for Dingman. Loose ball underneath and a scramble. And Creighton saves it. Good hustle by McDermott. And here is Brooks just in the game. Air ball on the three. "13-point lead for the Friars early here in the second half. Managod defending Fortune. Here's Hinton. Up and under. Missed the layup. But they hustle for the loose ball. And they're going to call the foul against the Friars. Providence foul. They picked up a few, and this will be Batts with his third foul.
Here we'll see the great block by Cotton from behind. And both teams fight for the loose ball. Creighton was able to recover. A good hustle by McDermott, saving that possession.
Dean Batts with 12 goes out of the game with his third foul. Replaced by Carson DeRozier. DeRozier has 4 tonight. And a blocking foul called against the Friars and slow to get up.
That's a big foul. I believe that's Harris's 4th foul.
Yep.
So with Harris with the 4th foul and Batts with 3 fouls, this is where you worry about the depth of Providence. They only play about 6 guys. Be interesting to see how they make an adjustment.
So Ted Bancroft is going to have to come in, and this is going to be really the moment of truth coming up right now for the Providence Friars with Harris and Batts out of there in foul trouble. And Bancroft and DeRozier in there. Can Creighton do some business here, down by 13?
There you have a mismatch with Bryce on McDermott.
Brooks lays it in. Devin Brooks.
Another great pass by McDermott. He saw the double team, and Brooks did the right thing. He cut straight to the rim, rewards him with the pass.
They have a margin of an 11-point lead with 2 of their front court people in foul trouble. Does Providence. And here is Cotton hitting a timely 3. Cotton hitting his 3rd 3 of the game, has 13 points.
He's excellent off the ball screen. Creighton went under the screen and gave him too much daylight to knock that down.
And here's McDermott travels to the delight of the crowd. 12. Rogge only 1 of 5. Providence 5 for 10. Cotton 3 of 4. This is totally unexpected.
And that's been the story of the game. Defensively, Providence has done an excellent job guarding versus the 3 of Creighton. Creighton's the #1 3-point shooting team in the nation at 43%. And they've done a great job of making them drive the ball, high hands, contesting all looks.
So again, it's interesting to see how the Friars could play without Batts and Harris, who are on the bench with foul trouble. Bancroft getting more time. Pitt spinning around. McDermott scores. He was trying to get him the foul if he didn't get the basket.
Tough shot, off balance, hitting, using his strength to get that ball over the defense, off the glass.
And the biggest lead of the game. 16 points, blocked by DeRozier. And here's Cotton being chased by Chapman. Cotton lays it in.
Great play, defense ignites their offense, and Cotton with a strong finish. Providence dominating this game on the defensive end.
53-35, his crowd on its feet. Providence Friars. Shocking. Creighton as Chapman misses a three. The tip misses. And the rebound by Bancroft. The bench guys have come up big for Ed Cooley tonight.
They really have, and that's been a story we haven't talked much about, but Bancroft and DeRozier have given them quality minutes, especially with the foul trouble Providence has.
Nearly 6 minutes gone by here in the second half. And inside, Fortune misses the layup, and he tips it in.
And again, another wide open layup opportunity off the flex offense cross screen. Fortune misses it, but he finishes it with a follow-up.
Timeout, it's an 18-point lead. And what does Greg McDermott do now? The Providence Friars have opened up the huge lead.
And look at this block by DeRozier. They keep it in bounds. It gets out to the open break, and Cotton does the hard part with a strong finish off the glass.
Point lead for Providence over Creighton, a stunner. Right now, time for New York Life Keep Good Going stats. Well, Creighton led the Big East in all of these areas. Still will, I'm sure, but look the difference tonight. Wow, 35 points. They got 82 now. They shouldn't have 82 right now, but are they going to get 82? It's going to be a long haul for that, and look at the rest.
It's been a consistent effort defensively by Providence, taking away the three. No open looks and making Creighton drive the ball, which they're not as good at.
Inside to McDermott, they've got to get him going. Misses again and hitting the rebound. Well, when Harris went out, remember Harris went out with his fourth foul. Batts went out with his third. What's happened since? Providence has outscored Creighton 11-2.
And the bench has been big for Providence, not necessarily scoring, but on the defensive end, getting stops and making it difficult for McDermott.
And let's not forget Mr. Cotton, who hit that big three when it looked like Creighton was going to make an inroad. Deflection and a turnover. Manigault challenging Cotton and lays it in. So Manigault now with 9.
He's done a good job in finishing in the open court. Good quickness, finishes with either hand.
The Cotton is in there along with Henton, Fortune, Bancroft, DeRozier.
Creighton now in the zone, a 1-3-1.
Here's Fortune for three, short. And Rocky getting the rebound. Chapman pushing it up inside McDermott. And a foul called, a push before the shot. And it appears to be against Bancroft. It's his first foul.
Cotton looks like he may have tweaked his ankle. No chance he's coming out of the game. He's a tough guy, but he's certainly looks like he's hobbling a little bit.
He only plays when they're 50-minute games, which he's done on 2 of those overtime games. Manigault, Rocky setting the screen. Chapman looking inside, and they're going to call the foul on Bancroft, knocking down McDermott. Bancroft picking up 2 quick fouls.
Well, they called a block on Bancroft. He tried to beat McDermott to the block because McDermott wanted to post up. McDermott really likes the ball in that paint, that mid-paint area.
Fouled him. So McDermott on the line. That is the 17th foul, and Creighton is in the bonus now. McDermott has 11 points, now 12. Remember, he comes in averaging over 25.
He's such a versatile scorer, and he can score in the mid-range area, the block on either side, left or right hand, and the three ball we all know about. With Bancroft guarding him, look for him to be more aggressive and try to take him down low. Another different look by Creighton with the 1-3-1.
Deflection, but Providence keeps it. Plenty of time on the clock. In the corner, Hinton. The three! Well, Providence is right now beating Creighton at its own game. Creighton has 12, including a pair of threes, and a timeout on the floor. 58-39.
The ball movement has been excellent by Providence. Making the extra pass has been the theme of tonight for Providence, allowing them to get open looks, get their feet set. We've seen Fortune, Hinton, and Cotton, all three of them knock down 3 balls off of good perimeter passing.
Hey, what an effort so far for Providence, and the big question is, can they hang on? But it seems that every time you wonder whether they can, they increase their lead. The bench people, as you pointed out, doing a great job defensively, and they're playing a very smart game. There have been only 6 turnovers in the game, 3 for each side. And look at the three-point story, 33% during the year. Tonight, they're 6 of 12.
It's not easy to play with the lead versus a team like Creighton that has that explosive offensive ability. You have to stick with what's got you there defensively, stay disciplined, good man-to-man ball pressure, no threes, contest all open shots.
Feed inside, Manicoff, blocked by DeRozier. DeRozier with another block inside. And as we mentioned, second in the Big East, nearly 2.5 blocks per game coming in. Hot. Short on the three-point try.
Had a good look coming off the down screen, came up short.
And there's Rogge. And a three-point basket and a foul, and a chance for a 4-point play for Creighton.
Did you see where he shot that from? He shot that from the hash mark. And we'll see it right here. I mean, this is way beyond the NBA three. Gives you an idea what kind of range he has.
Second three of the game, and he'll have a chance for a fourth as they defeated Memphis. And on the line here is Isaiah Zierden. Meanwhile, Creighton has yet to commit a team foul with nearly 9 minutes elapsed. And Zierden misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And they're going to call the foul. They call a foul on Batts. If it is, Batts has committed his 4th foul. He just came back in the game.
I'm not sure they called a foul. If they did call a foul, I don't believe it was on Batts. It didn't look like there was any contact at all.
And Cooley seems all right with it, so I think you're right.
He's cool. Cooley's cool. If Cooley's cool, then that means he's all right with it.
So Zierden misses the free throw.
So Creighton defensively making a slight adjustment in terms of picking up their ball pressure with the 1-3-1 zone. Maybe this can slow down the cross-screen action that Providence has been able to get the ball inside.
16-point lead for Providence. Still 11 minutes to go. Here's Cotton. Missed the 3. And the foul.
And that's a bad foul. Batts gets called for the push. And you know, when you make fouls like that, Dick, you have to worry about becoming fatigued because he wasn't in position to get that offensive rebound and gets called for a cheap one. Now he has his 4th foul.
So Batts has 4, Harris has 4. Batts goes out again, came back for less than a minute, and is replaced by DeRozier. So it's really tough for Providence. Now here's a team that lost Chris Dunn, who was out with shoulder surgery. He was expected to be Cotton's backcourt mate this year. And then 2 players, Rodney Bullock and Brandon Austin, were suspended, and Brandon Austin left the team. So there are 3 players that Providence counted on.
Sure. And there are 3 integral players. I mean, Brandon Austin was probably going to be a starter.
Yeah, 2 starters.
Was a starting point guard, and what it caused, it made everyone have to move one position over, starting with Cotton, moving over to the point guard.
Will Artino checking back in the game. And going out is Rogge, who has 1,000 points. 34th player in school history with 1,000 points.
About 999 of those points are all from 3.
Let me add that up and see if that's possible. Todd, I'm not a math major. Fortune fires the 3 and misses. And the foul against Creighton. And the crowd derisively cheers. That's the first team foul by the Blue Jays here in the second half. That's nearly halfway through. One.
And the crowd certainly was happy to see that.
And the blocking foul, here's the second one.
Sarcasm.
Yeah. Managa, Jahens Managa, one of the 3 seniors who started tonight for Creighton. And that's his 3rd foul, so Raggi, who has 2, comes back in for Managa, who goes out with 3. Managa has scored 9.
Creighton's going to stay in this 1-3-1. And I think Coach McDermott's making the adjustment because Providence has made a living of getting easy looks in that 5-10-foot range in the paint off the cross screen action.
Fortune for 3. He's got it. Good ball movement that time by Providence. As Fortune now with 10. Blocked by DeRozier. That's his 3rd block of this second half.
What a lift DeRozier's giving him off the bench. This is his 3rd block at 7 feet. He's a great rim protector. He doesn't really have to leave his feet to impact the shot because of his length. Doing a great job protecting the basket.
17-point lead for Providence. Fall away by McDermott. Nice move by Doug McDermott, who now has 15. So does Cotton, the 2 leading scorers who are opposing each other tonight.
Not an easy shot. The Dirk Nowitzki step back is something that McDermott made it look easy.
Cotton, chased by Zierden. Strictly perimeter passing right now, and now Cotton misses the 3, and McDermott gets the rebound. And stolen inside by Bancroft, and the field goal by Hinton. What a great turnover and a conversion, and a huge basket for the Friars.
I mean, the bench production between Bancroft and DeRozier's has been excellent. Bancroft read that play, steps in, and makes a great pass to Hinton, who's one of the best finishers on this Providence team.
And 3 fouls now on McDermott. He's picked up his 3rd, and he's going to come out of the game. Doug McDermott, who has 15 points, 10 below his season's average, really upset at what's going on the floor, has picked up his 3rd foul. And here is LaDontae Hinton, cannot convert, but Creighton trails now 63-46.
With McDermott out, who's going to make a play? They don't have anyone that can make a play off the bounce. Let's see if they can get Raggi open for a 3.
Here is Chapman feeding Artino. Nice move by the really quick Artino. Good passing big man, has got good movement.
Good dribble penetration by the point guard Chapman. Gets in the lane, draws and dishes.
Creighton extending their defense almost toward midcourt. No one underneath for Providence. Now DeRozier starts to make his presence felt.
Chapman is face guarding Cotton, trying to slow him down and keep him from getting the ball.
And Cotton inside trying to make the feed. Out of bounds, last touched by Creighton, but 8 seconds remain on the shot clock.
With this little time, look for Cotton to come for pop out, and something with the ball screen is what they like to go to.
Cotton with a runner. And Cotton, Bryce Cotton now with 17-point lead. 8.5 to go in the second half. Loose ball out of bounds, Providence ball. Can you sense something here, Tariq?
Well, you know, you sense that McDermott, with him being out of the game, Cotton is not showing any signs of fatigue. As he gets in the lane and hits that runner, they're playing with great confidence, and there's been no drop-off with Harrison Bass out of the game with foul trouble. Great production by the bench.
That's amazing. A team that's short on manpower coming into the game and having 2 of their top front court people in deep foul trouble. Cotton, by the way, has 17 points, but also 6 assists. What a smart game played by Providence. Not to take anything away from Creighton, but I don't think Creighton expected this. Hinton with a fake, tries to draw the foul, basket does, and he's got it. Artino fouls Hinton, and now the Providence Friars seemingly can do no wrong.
That's just a big-time move. Hinton, he slashes to the rim. Nice shot fake to create space. Step through, dribble, and he finishes the play off the glass. Providence has this place rocking.
One. Providence has 4 players in double figures to 1 for Creighton. That was 15 for McDermott, and Cotton 17 leads the 4. And there they are, the 2 scores we focused on. And what a surprise. Not so much McDermott, though, usually in the stratosphere by now.
Yeah, it's been quiet. It's been a quiet 15 for him. I mean, here's a guy who's second in the nation in scoring, has not been able to get his three-point game going, has had to earn everything going to the rim, and you have to credit Providence for defending him well.
Hinton has 17, Cotton 17, and then Batts has 12, Fortune 10 for the starting 5 in double figures. McDermott is in the game. They're going to need him, and they're going to need this. This is the 3, tip in, and it was Artino who gets the tip. Here comes the pressure.
This is a slight change, and we've seen the last few minutes they've gone into an extended zone. That was a full court press back into man-to-man.
Providence 13 of 22 shooting here in the second half.
Cotton has done a great job of balancing his attacking offensive prowess and getting his teammates involved.
There's Cotton, foul, and Cotton drawing the foul beautifully. And if it's on Manigaw, that'll be his 4th, and it is 4 on Jahens Manigaw, who has been a big factor. Only 9 points, but really has been very active tonight.
He has, and defensively he has the length.
Now the offensive foul called against the Friars.
They're going to call an offensive screen, or illegal screen on Hinton. Looked like he extended his arms out.
Remember, Batts has 4, Harris has 4. And now Raggi comes back into the game, replaces Artino. Raggi tonight has 8 points and only 2 from 3-point range.
That was the focal point going into this game. Make Raggi a driver, build your transition defense at the 3-point line.
Chapman. Now here's McDermott against DeRozier. What a move against the shot blocker by McDermott, now with 17.
That's what makes him so talented. Very good on the low block. Nice up and under move to get that shot up over DeRozier.
16-point lead. Still plenty of time remaining for the Blue Jays to come back in this game.
No question about it. With McDermott in the game, he hasn't really gotten a rhythm. Still plenty of time for him to get hot.
Ten on the clock.
Good patience by Providence.
Cotton really nearly lost his footing. Fall away by Cotton. Goes. Almost came out, but it went in. And Cotton gets the field goal. 19 now for him.
Providence is doing a great job of running their offense. If they don't get anything in their offense with about 10 seconds left, they have a closer in Cotton.
What a move on a spin move by McDermott. And you almost get the feeling it's going to be McDermott and clear out of the way everyone else.
Well, McDermott's versatile enough to know that if his three's not going, he's going to attack the rim. He's done that the last 2 possessions.
5:45 to go. Chapman all over Cotton. 16-point lead for Providence, and you know they're going to milk the clock as they did on the first possession of the game tonight.
It's a great game plan. It's worked, and it's allowed Providence to control the tempo by using the clock as their friend.
Here's Hinton off balance and is fouled. So Hinton will go to the line for 2.
We'll watch McDermott attack the basket. Nice little throw hook. You get away with that in the NBA, but he's savvy enough to make it work and gets to the basket uncontested for the jam.
Raggi with his 3rd foul, and here is Hinton at the free throw line. 3 out of 4s tonight.
I'm really impressed by Hinton. Here's a guy who prides himself on rebounding. He's undersized at the 4 spot, but he's versatile enough, athletic enough to get to the rim and score over bigger opponents.
And making the free throws with a lead is really a great bonus for Providence.
Absolutely. 80% is a luxury to be able to shoot that well from the stripe.
Zierden misses the three, and the rebound by Bancroft. And here's Cotton pushing it up. They want to use clock, and he almost overran the ball, and he turned it over. A little careless that time by Bryce Cotton. And here's McDermott, had the shot, passes it up to Raggi, misses the three. Raggi is just not himself from three-point range tonight. He is just 2 for 7.
No, he's not. And, he's a guy who's not going to take the ball to the basket. He's going to camp out at the three-point line and keep shooting. And if Creighton doesn't pressure the ball more, well, Providence is going to continue to milk the clock and then get the ball into their closer's hands and let him make a play.
5 on the shot clock now. This is what we're used to tonight. And here's Cotton getting a screen in and out for the three.
And even though he missed that, the fact that they used 35 seconds is a bonus for Providence.
Ball knocked away. Brooks is in the game, and now they're going to bring in reserves. And
we talked about adjustments, and if Creighton wants to get in this game defensively, they have to pick up their pressure and not allow Providence to work off so much time.
So Zach Hansen in the game for the first time. Dingman, who started the game. And a nifty layup by Artino inside. So Artino comes in now with 9.
Nice little slip screen by Artino. Gets to the rim uncontested.
Under 4 minutes remaining. 16-point lead for Providence.
Coach Cooley tells his team, continue to work the clock, but stay aggressive.
And a foul. Cotton is fouled, driving in. If this game were played before the shot clock, I think Providence score would be 15-4.
He likes donuts, at least.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And back here, as we look at the DirecTV game summary, that's what the leading scorers, Cotton and McDermott, each with 19 points. 3-point shooting, big disappointment for the Blue Jays, who are only 1 for 8 in the second half. And LaDontae Henton with 19.6 rebounds, really picking up the slack with Harris and Batts in foul trouble.
Yeah, and it's been a well-rounded effort for Providence, and obviously Cotton is the ringleader, but having the support of a Batts and a Hinton, and Fortune also knocking down some threes, has certainly given him that balance offensively.
Greg McDermott going much deeper into the bench than normally he does. Normally it's in a situation where his team has blown out the other team, and that's been the story for Creighton this year. Dingman passes inside to Brooks, and a nice move by Devin Brooks, who has 6 points in the game. So this is a team, the Creighton Blue Jays, who of their 15 wins, all but 2 have been by double figures. They have a point differential of nearly 18 points a game, and they're trailing 72-58.
Up to this point, they've been undefeated on the road in 2 road games. And certainly this has been the first time they've struggled to this extent.
McDermott is out of the game. And right now, Greg McDermott's emptying his bench. Hinton misses from the outside. He's got Zach Hansen in there. Jeffrey Grosel will come in shortly. There's another foul inside. 2:37 to go. So Doug McDermott with 19 points. Mentioned his lowest was 7 against George Washington. Had 19 on 2 other occasions against DePaul and Marquette. 20 against Cal and 21 against Long Beach State. Well, tonight, don't miss Fox Sports Live as Jay and Dan bring you all the highlights from a full day of college basketball, the NBA and the NHL as well. Fox Sports Live is tonight after Supercross, only on Fox Sports 1. Here's Brooks.
Full court pressure by Creighton. Trying to force a turnover.
So far, Providence handled the pressure beautifully. They only turned it over 5 times. That's not a lot considering the pressure Creighton's put on.
They've done a great job handling the ball, running their offense, and not letting Creighton take them out of what they want to run.
Here's Cotton with 7 on the shot clock. He missed, but a new clock. Very valuable at this time, winding down to 2 minutes to go. In a 12-point Providence lead, they were up by as many as 20 and have never trailed tonight.
They did a phenomenal job of running their offense and making Creighton guard them. That was the key that Coach Cooley wanted to do.
And a Creighton foul inside will be against Dingman.
Now, this is a signature win for Providence. I mean, this is a team that has basically played 6 guys the entire season. Bryce Cotton is averaging 39.5 minutes. This guy hasn't had a breather since the summer. And this guy continues to play at a high level, put his team on his back. And now they're going to go to 3-2 in the conference.
He misses the front end of the 1-1. Well, Ed Cooley told us before the game, he says, the Creighton Blue Jays may be the best passing team that I've ever seen. Lateral play of the game, Bryce Cotton. What more can you say about what he's done tonight?
He's done everything right. You know, he's made the decisions. He's gotten into the mid-range area, knocked down the 3-ball, step back. He's just had his overall offensive game going well, and then he's balanced it out by making plays for his teammates.
Land Rover player of the game, Bryce Cotton. And McDermott's going to come back in with 1:43 to go, along with Rocky. And also checking in will be Jahens Manigaw and Chapman in a moment. And they're going to give a hand to the bench players going out of the game who have been terrific tonight. Carson DeRozier and Ted Bancroft leading the game. Harris is back in, as well as Kadeem Batts. Both are playing with 4 personal fouls. And now Austin Chapman comes back in, so I believe the starting 5 for both teams are in there right now, the teams that started the game. And a foul by Dingman.
And this is where the foul shooting comes into play for Providence. Obviously, this is what you want. You want your team to get to the foul line. They shoot 80%. Your best player is on the court at the foul line to extend this lead.
Well, you can't really underestimate what this means, because this 20-point lead that they had has been cut in half to 10. Clock now a factor against Creighton, but if you have the free throws being made, it keeps you at bay.
No question. And, you know, Creighton wants to stop the clock, so they may pick up a little bit more full court pressure and take their chances and send Providence to the foul line. Providence has proven that they are comfortable going to the stripe, knocking them down.
And now this free throw, Creighton playing offense, defense substitutions. They bring in Devin Brooks for offense, Avery Dingman for defense, and here's McDermott, and a timeout called by Creighton as McDermott now with 21 points. And now it is a 9-point game. So it's the Creighton Blue Jays, who are down by 10 with about 6 minutes or nearly 7 minutes gone by in the second half, have it in single digits.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a 3-possession game, so let's remind ourselves that this is a potent offensive team, the best offensive team statistically in the country in Creighton. They have not shot the ball well, they have not played well, they have not had the rhythm they want offensively, but you still have the best player in the country, that man right there, Doug McDermott. He hasn't had the game we're used to having, but it only takes one play for him to get in rhythm. Raggi's still on the court, 3-point shooter. This game is there's still a lot of time left, 1.5 minutes with a 9-point lead. That's a 3-possession game.
Well, I guess Raggi could hit 3 threes in that time very easily, but I think for Providence, and we saw the missed free throw by Cotton, they're going to have to make their free throws when they're put on the line. And there's getting a piece of it is McDermott, knocking the inbound pass out of bounds. Creighton has 2 timeouts remaining and Providence 3. The key, of course, is Creighton's 2. They inbound to Cotton. And now Hinton, triple team. Here's Harris, and they're going to foul him. Chapman will send Harris to the line. He's only an 84% free throw shooter.
Is that all? This is a game where, you know, you've had multiple guys step up. Obviously, Harris and Batts have been plagued by foul trouble, but the fact that you have 5 guys on the floor at all times that can shoot at a high percentage allows you to play them and attack the press and take your chances, because now you can attack and be aggressive and know that you're going to get sent to the foul line and knock him down to extend his lead.
That was the first trip to the line for Tyler Harris, who's been hampered by foul trouble tonight, but makes two big ones here. And a 10-point lead, 11-point lead, 75-64. And a timeout called by Providence. Each team has two left.
And if you're Providence, you want to continue to defend the three and obviously take even more of an emphasis on guarding that three-point line, switch everything, which they've done pretty much the entire game, 1 through 5, switch all ball screens, switch all dribble handoffs, make Creighton put the ball on the floor. You don't want to stop the clock, because then it gives Creighton a chance to set up their full court press, but you want to play solid man-to-man defense.
Let's take a look at Creighton's upcoming schedule, the big one Monday at Villanova, and Gus and Raph will be at that one in Philadelphia for that battle between two ranked teams. And then Georgetown at home and St. John's at home, and then DePaul. So 3 home games following that Villanova game before the return match against St. John's. So interesting, Creighton's style against what we know the Big East style to be. And you know, tonight, right now, the old Big East style making a big factor. Raggi misses the 3, and the rebound by Batts, and the foul is made. So 21 for McDermott, but Raggi off the mark from 3. And of course, Tuesday, Butler comes to town as the Friars complete the 3 games after Xavier at home as well. The 3 newcomers to the Big East, travel to Marquette and DePaul, and then home against St. John's.
You know, it's an interesting point in the league because every team has still not gone around the full cycle of playing each other. So we're still learning about the league, the teams, and, you know, going on the road. Certainly Creighton, if they don't win this game, they go into Philly on Monday at the Wells Fargo Center versus an undefeated Villanova team, and that's another big-time matchup at this early part of the season.
So Creighton's 10-game winning streak on the line here with 1:15 to go. Cotton hits both free throws, and Cotton has 22. By the way, McDermott 21. And you know, when Seton Hall on New Year's Eve beat Providence here, that ended a 13-game home winning streak, which they started again against Georgetown. And Hansen tips it in. 1:05 to go, and we'll have a Creighton foul. And once again, Cotton will go to the free throw line just to keep Creighton at bay. 11-point lead, 1:05 to go. And the great Blue Jays on the verge of having a 10-game winning streak snapped. Their undefeated Big East record snapped at 5-0. And the fact that they have won all 4 of their true road games this year, and then 5 dating back to last year as well.
And looking big picture at the win like this for Providence, what does this mean? Well, this is a signature win for them. They beat a ranked opponent. They go 3-2 in the conference. And after the Villanova game that we did, Dick, they rebounded very well, beating Georgetown, then beating St. John's in a double overtime, and then they come back with 1-day rest and pull out a game like this. Very impressive.
And here is Brooks trying to get it in, and it's tipped away by Hinton. And Batts is fouled. And the interesting thing is, this is a team that's short on manpower, foul trouble, but the 3-point shots were there brilliantly tonight for Providence. They used the clock, and they kept the score a little higher than they anticipated, but you know, Creighton at 66, not going to get to the 82 that they've averaged.
No, and you have to credit Coach Cooley for keeping these guys focused, keeping them locked in, keeping them in the moment. You know, a lot of teams, you know, will feel sorry for themselves because they're undermanned. They're down 3 or 4 guys. They're only playing 6 guys, extensive minutes. But Coach Cooley has been able to create a culture where these guys embrace the opportunity to play big minutes, and they're proving it.
That's 1 out of 2, 13-point lead. And a steal. Here's Harris. That may be the exclamation point. Harris with 10, and all 5 starters for the Providence Friars in double figures. They should celebrate. Cotton with 23, Hinton with 19. Bats with 13. Fortune and Harris each with 10. And now it's just a matter of time. And what did Ed Cooley tell his team? He said, folks, let me tell you this. If we win tonight, we will be in a tie for fourth in the conference after an 0-2 start.
That's right, and he reminded them of that right before they came out to start this game, to kind of give them some extra incentive, not that they needed it, but just to remind his guys, hey, you're playing for a lot. You have a chance to move into the top tier of the conference.
And here's Brooks. Half a minute to go. Zierden. And the putback by Jeffrey Grosel, the sophomore from Plano, Texas. And Providence will use up the clock. A standing ovation here at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. And Providence, with its first victory over a ranked team since beating Notre Dame last year. A textbook win against a very tough Creighton team. Creighton's one of the better teams in the Big East still, but that'll do it. Final score, 81-68. The shocker, Providence over Creighton. Right now, let's send it to Mike Hill in our studio.